evening, everyone. I'm Mr. Panda.
And I'm Rockstar.
And this is Manly Battleships, a YouTube channel where we're hosting Last Week in Geek, the video podcast where we talk about everything that happened last week in Geek. We just wrapped up our exhibit at Katsucon this past weekend, where I gave away 400 bars of soap. Therefore, Katsucon is a little bit cleaner. I'm sure you're all very excited to hear about that. This coming Saturday, we're going to be at RetrieverCon at UMBC down in Maryland, so be sure to come check that out. We got a lecture and 2 game shows for you. Keep watching all our social media for additional updates, but until then, this is going to be the episode where we have a little something for everyone, so let's hop into new media. The time that we have been waiting for has come at last. What does Robert Pattinson look like as Batman? And the answer is very red.
Kind of looks like Daredevil instead of Batman. But all in all, I actually think he looks pretty cool.
Now, if only he would smell cool, because according to himself, he smells like a crayon.
What?
That's a thing. Robert Pattinson said he smells like a crayon.
Were you one of the many people out there that didn't like Disney's live-action remake of Cinderella? In Hollywood's tradition of we're just going to keep remaking this shit and you will pay us for it, Sony is retelling Cinderella with their own stars. This time it's Camila Cabello as Cinderella, Idina Menzel as the stepmother, Pierce Brosnan as the king, and Minnie Driver as the queen, and so many other people. Apparently James Corden is producing and also acting in it as one of the 3 blind mice. I really don't know what this movie is.
Let it go, let it go.
It's okay to watch this stupid remake.
Let it go, let it go. Disney doesn't have a monopoly on the fairy tale. I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm just making up words.
You know we're gonna get, flagged just for singing it now.
Sony isn't stopping there with their announcements. They have also announced the release of the next Spider-Man MCU movie. That's coming out on July 16th, 2021. Title not yet determined.
Last year at some point we had mentioned that there was a odd movie titled V2 Journey to China, which featured Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger in this weird kung fu pirate fantasy movie. Well, it's coming to the UK, so we're getting an English translation of it, and from a lot of the reviewers, apparently don't think that Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger are the main stars, because they're not. They're side characters.
Say das vidanya to your hope for a pirate movie featuring Jackie Chan and Arnold Schwarzenegger in main roles.
I mean, it still might be interesting to watch.
I'm gonna watch it.
It has a different name in Russia and China, but the name that's coming to the UK is the Iron Mask. I don't know. I'm very confused. I'm very confused with their marketing.
I'm very confused because Leonardo DiCaprio is not in this.
And it's not.
That's an old reference.
That's not. I don't even think it's about that tale. Or maybe it's a retelling. I don't know. I've seen different versions of what they're trying to say this movie's about.
Well, we'll know if Orlando Bloom makes a cameo. Timur Bekmambetov is finally making another film. He's originally known for Hardcore Henry. Pioneering a blockbuster filmed entirely in the first person was not enough for this man. He has decided to take the TikTok idea and apply it to, it's going to be a vertical format film.
V2 Escape from Hell, which
it's another V2 movie.
No, well, that's what they've named it. It's a World War II movie, actually, about...
Oh, so it's like V2 the Rocket. Okay.
Yeah, it's based on a true story about a Soviet pilot who leads a rebellion and escape from a concentration camp. But this isn't his first vertical format project that he's doing. He did one for Snapchat. It's called Escape the Night, which is all about a zombie apocalypse and a teenage girl has to escape from that. He really seems to like escape films. I'm just noticing that. A lot of them have something with the main character escaping from something.
Clearly, he should have been a director on The Hobbit. Maybe it would have been a little better. Lots of running. That's the joke. Why do you have to do this to me?
If you wanted a little dose of nostalgia, Neopets, the lovable virtual pets that you can play with, is getting their own animated show. We have no further details past the fact that Beach House Pictures is the one developing the story.
And trying to cash in on people's nostalgia in place of trying to make a movie that's actually good. Did anyone care about the Emoji Movie? Did anyone care about Angry Birds? I guess so, because they made a second one.
And Blue Ant Studio is animating. Why do you have to shit on my childhood? I want to see a Neopets show. I've been dying for it. We've had some video games.
Oh, you've been dying for something that will play on your nostalgia to get you into the theater and then rob you of any love you ever had for the franchise by reminding you how stupid it is.
It's a show. We're not going to the cinema.
Fine. Not the cinema. Your Netflix subscription or wherever else they put the damn thing.
I'm already paying for Netflix.
If you are a Nintendo Switch Online subscriber here in the US, there will soon be 2 new SNES games available for you that have never before been released here in the States. They are Poppin' Twin Bee and Smash Tennis. I don't know what the first one is about, but apparently Smash Tennis is, quote, a strategic tennis game. So I don't know what that really means. We just know that it looks very complicated. It's like the Risk of esports.
Do you love Stardew Valley?
No.
Do you love Stardew Valley?
Why, yes, I do.
Well, the creator, Eric Barone, is creating 2 new games. But we have virtually no details on that either. He was very vague, first stating that he wants to make sure that he focuses on any updates to Stardew Valley. Continuing on with the first game being vaguely inside the Stardew Valley lore, and the other one might be something totally new that makes references to Stardew Valley. So, Deltarune? Toby Fox, anyone?
Viz Media decided it was a good idea to just broadcast their entire release schedule for the rest of the year. So we're going to be getting a whole bunch of new manga here in the States, including such infamous titles as Chainsaw Man,
Taserface!
I'm super excited to find out what Chainsaw Man is about. I'm going to go look into that as soon as we're done here, actually.
It looked really crazy, and I couldn't follow just the brief synopsis. I had to keep rereading it, so...
It's like, bo 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 bo.
Other titles that they have a side story for Naruto that's focusing on Sasuke.
Does he keep getting choked out in this side story? Because I hope that's just the fulfillment of the meme. Everyone chokes out Sasuke.
I have no idea.
Other series include a rom-com called Tonikaku Kawaii.
If you want to know more about Sherlock through Moriarty's eyes, you can see Moriarty the Patriot. What?
It just occurred to me that the way we just said that, it could totally be interpreted on paper as you saying, oh yes, there's a show called Tonikaku Kawaii, in case you want to see Sherlock through the eyes of Moriarty the Patriot. Tonikaku Kawaii. And then we play it down like the Robert Downey Jr. style Sherlock, so it's like, oh, he gives me those flowers that I have to make the cute face.
So it's a yaoi.
Yeah. What? Love triangle between Moriarty and Dr. Watson. You know, Watson being bisexual with his wife and constantly struggling with his feelings for the thin drug addict. We're also getting the newest expansion to Magic the Gathering.
A Tokyo Ghoul art book.
And 3 new short stories for Revolutionary Girl Utena, in case you are a longtime fan of that and super titillated to see what goes on there.
And there is so much more available. There's still stuff we haven't told you. You can click the link down below to find out.
We finally wrapped up new media, so now let's go to the meme of the week.
Meme of the week. Meme of the week. Here is where we tell you about the meme of the week.
You know, I'm just going to put that and delete everything I just said, right? Like, if you're just going to sing the song, we don't need 2 introductions. This episode, we've selected for Meme of the Week this newest Joker meme. Now, it's actually been around for a while, but it's finally hit its stride and is popping up all over the place. It's the, this is what you fucking deserve meme. And it's just so wonderful to finally see Joaquin Phoenix blow Robert De Niro's head off constantly on my Facebook feed.
And this is not for children. This is why we keep saying this show is not for children.
Moving on to the real news.
Thanks to our fan JR, I have become a recent fan of the Owl House. And today it's in the news because, of course, we can't have something good in the world without a bunch of Karens telling us why we have to hate it. 1 million Karens, 1 million moms, has come out against the show because they're angry against the show because it brings out demonic and evil things as lighthearted and fun. Well, Their petition got about, 5,000 plus signatures, which for them is actually batting below average. So it doesn't really seem like too many Karens care about your shit. But my message to you, Karens, is I'm not surprised you're concerned. Because if you can't tell fact from fiction, Karen, I'm pretty sure your children can't either. And I'm worried for them. However, your spawn is probably much more intelligent than you are.
And making history at the DICE Awards is Untitled Goose Game, the first independently produced title to win Game of the Year. Honk honk, motherfuckers, we messed shit up.
Congrats to House.
I cannot wait for the sequel. There better be a sequel.
No,
Make
a game
sequel.
A Game of the Year edition. I want to see what cool
Expansion
shit
pack.
they add to Untitled Goose Game as Game of the Year edition. That's the one I'm getting. Give me a Game of the Year edition, House. And on the other side of the spectrum, Epic Games has shown that they really don't care anymore. They have introduced a new Rick-rolling emote, including the original songs. Now, it's still unclear whether or not... What the...
I was flossing in place.
Oh. Well, it's still unsure whether or not they actually have the rights to use the song.
It's definitely, they have the rights. Rick Astley actually advertised it on his Facebook page.
I know he did, but they still haven't come out and said they have the rights, so,
No.
you know.
Well, usually musicians get pretty uppity if people do stuff like that without permission.
Well, even if he didn't care, it doesn't mean his label doesn't.
Well, fair enough, but Rockstar, I think we could reasonably assume that if the musician's promoting it,
Sure, maybe. But the problem is not really... whether or not they're licensed to use the song, but the fact that, you guys have streamers who stream Fortnite, and you have a copyrighted song that can be played at any moment during gameplay. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty unpopular with streamers.
That's a good point, I suppose. Have they mentioned anything about whether or not that would be considered against their content filtration? I don't know. Does Twitch use the same kind of system?
They don't care.
Well, no. Does Twitch use the same kind of content ID system?
Pretty sure they do.
Even if there ends up being no problem with licensing issues on the Rick Astley thing, Fortnite is still facing problems because there's still no clear indication of whether or not the IRS is going to get involved in taxing the virtual currency within Fortnite. So V-Bucks and Roblox are at the center of this question of, does the IRS care? Are they going to tax what you actually get immediately? Have you earned it? Have you transferred it? They put out a questionnaire with this year's filing to ask if you were involved in virtual currency, but no one knows what they're going to do with that information.
Well, the other part of the controversy is previously on their website, they actually did specify that V-Bucks and Roblox would be part of, say, virtual currencies, but as of this weekend, they kind of quietly, deleted it off the website. You can go back in the Wayback Machine and in archives to actually see the IRS pointing it out, but they kind of erased it. Probably because at the end of the day, some of the people that are going to be affected are parents of gamers, not necessarily the gamers themselves, because a bunch of kids end up having in-game currency just to go buy a freaking emote, like we were saying earlier.
And as someone who hasn't involved himself in virtual currency, I can't even begin to theorize about how this is going to roll out. But something inside tells me that possibly the reason the IRS has been a little finicky on it is whether or not they've decided to treat it like, stock. So you wouldn't actually pay anything on it unless you sell it, like capital gains. I don't know how they're really going to treat the income in general, so maybe they just don't know either.
Well, it seemed really unclear. Even CNN couldn't give us a clear explanation as to if you said yes to whether or not you sold, received, sent, or used any virtual currencies, which may or may not include V-Bucks and Roblox. Does that inquire further questioning, or is that a yes and done question? You just say, yep, I did it, and then it just goes away. Nobody cares. So,
Or you say yes, an automatic audit.
I have no idea, and
Be warned! I'm wondering if it's going to be like that question that Pennsylvania asks. Did you buy any goods outside of the state? And then you totally just put no.
No.
Never.
would never do it. I don't know what you're talking about.
I never buy anything when I'm out of state.
I don't know why they put that question. You know we're going to get an immediate audit this year now because we've said it on YouTube.
In case there's an honest John out there who's like, yes, I bought a lamp while visiting my mother in Florida or Delaware where there's no tax, and I just feel so guilty, I'm going to send them the $6 in sales tax that I would have paid here in this Pennsylvania. The great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, founded by our wonderful founder, William Penn. The rapid rise of Project Melody has called into question the future of live cam girls. Project Melody is an unidentified individual specializing in chatterbait streaming that uses a virtual presence in order to do her streams. So what happens is when she fires it up, she is controlling it remotely, but she's playing as a character who is a digital hentai character. She's crediting herself as the very first hentai cam girl.
Well, the funny thing is Vice did a interview or tried to do an interview of sorts with her like 3 days after she started camming, and she answered in character and stated that she is in fact an artificially intelligent robot that got corrupted by pop-up ads and now is attracted to the lewd of the internet.
So it's like Zonton coming to life on stream.
Now the reason we're talking about her is because she hit a milestone on Valentine's Day.
In addition to passing the 100,000 followers on Twitter, they broke Chatterbait during Valentine's Day. That's how aggressively people wanted to watch this digital presence and exercise.
So congratulations to Project Melody.
This doesn't come without its own form of controversy. A lot of people were firing off on Twitter and elsewhere about how this potentially affects their livelihood and their lives. I think if we're being honest, the huge number of followers has a lot more to do with the fact that there's this insane novelty and it's the first time someone's tried this idea. I don't think that the general public is going to stop giving y'all money for doing what they want and what meets their preferences.
Part of the controversy is not just about livelihood, however, it's also about, can this person be stalked? They don't face the same kind of violence. They're not facing the same kind of discrimination that a cam girl might or might not get, especially that they were speaking about, if we are talking about livelihood, that some cam girls can try and do all sorts of different things and never see a following. Or you get cam girls who get too much of a following and then they get stalkers and they get harassers. And, this person isn't going to experience that as much, even though Project Melody has stated, I don't think that that's necessarily a difference between me and live cam girls, because I can get stalkers too. I could get people who are obsessive over me or harassing of me as well. So I think it's just something that we'd have to follow up to see how she does when it comes to that other aspect, when it comes to violence against women who are sex workers.
All right, so just to be clear here, there are people who are gatekeeping getting harassed?
I mean...
Because, look, I'm not saying that this is... Why is that a bad thing? That she is less likely to get harassed?
I don't know. It's not a bad thing that she's less likely to get harassed. And I can see the issue from both sides. I can see the issue where it's like, well, if we could do that, everyone would be doing it because nobody wants to be harassed, I think is the angle they're trying to come at it from. But there's also the angle where, yes, okay, you're gatekeeping a little bit. Why is it so bad that there is an avatar? It's the fight of whether or not it's a safer version of porn, which we've always had with our college students when we talk to them about hentai versus live porn. Is it safer? Is it better than, say, live porn? So I think we're just seeing that conversation play out in a different way when it comes to women who actually face being sex workers. And
in the meantime, it's worth noting that despite the great success of the hentai industry and its various permutations, live porn is still very much alive.
You may have heard of it. You may even have played it. HQ Trivia was a live game show app that allowed its users to play for real money in real time. The problem is they lost all of their funding and all of their investors and have had to shut down and fire all 25 of their full-time staff. Now, they have since had their last live stream, and from what I've seen and other sources, it was one of those where it was a live train wreck that has to be seen to be believed. There were trivia show hosts who were just drunk off their ass. One of the ones that was sober had to spend his last $5 so that there would be some kind of prize at the end. It was just a miracle they were able to put it together.
Well, I mean, with the company going down the drain, what do you expect them to do? Sing you a lullaby?
I mean, I'm not saying I blame them. I'm just saying apparently
it was a train wreck. And someone with a lot of power has decided this is no time to die. By that, I mean the Bond film No Time to Die will not be showing in China, at least not right away, due to fears surrounding the coronavirus, or at least what was the coronavirus. They've renamed it again.
COVID.
19.
COVID-19. Well,
it can no longer legally smoke in the United States.
And the April premiere that was supposed to happen with all the cast and crew and fun, luxurious things is no longer happening either. As of right now, over 70,000 cinemas in China are closed. And even if they would open before the April premiere, they're pretty sure that their people that are going to go over, all the stars, can't get their clearances beforehand. So they might as well just cancel the whole thing.
And that about wraps up this episode. So if you are new to the channel, there's the subscribe button and the bell that lets you know when we're posting new videos. Either way, you should thumbs up because this show is awesome, just like you are awesome. And you should drop a comment below to let us know your thoughts about some of the stories that we have introduced you to this week about last week. And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, this is Mr. Panda.
And Rockstar, and we'll see you next week.